So what the yogis found out is that if the emotions have the power of affecting our breath, just like when you're crying you can barely breathe, when you're angry your breath is short, they realized that we can break that and we can reverse the cycle, because we can change the breath first, and by doing that we can change the emotions. And voila, you can hijack your own brain so that negative emotions do not have as much power over you anymore. Welcome sunshine, my name is Aline Boff, and today we're going to learn about Pranayama and also introduce the practice into your life. So we're taking the first step. In order to take this step, first you need to understand what is Pranayama. So Pranayama is widely known worldwide as breath control. That's the technical name of it, I would say. But what it actually means when we take the word pranayama and separate the two words that make it, prana and ayama, we can understand that from Sanskrit, they can be translated as ayama, can be translated from Sanskrit as expansion. Whereas prana means life force, vital energy, vitality. So when we put them two together, we can understand that pranayama means expansion of life force, expansion of vital energy. In other words, when we practice breath control with the intention of expanding our breathing capacity, we are also practicing the expansion of vitality. Yes, that sounds as deep as it is meant to be. The ancient yogis spent a long time observing the world, watching animals, how they acted, how they lived, how they moved. And with all that time of study they put onto these animals, they have come to learn that animals that have shorter breaths live less, shorter lives than animals that breathe slower, longer breaths. When you take elephants or turtles, for example, their breath rate is much longer, so they breathe less times per minute, and they do live much longer than animals like the rabbit, who breathes super quickly and is also super quick, but doesn't live as long. So out of this observation of the world, they have taken enough proof to understand that if one can elongate the breath and breathe less times per minute, then you can automatically expand your lifespan, your vitality. Another way of looking into this vital force, if you follow me on Instagram, you have heard me say this before, you can spend and you can survive days without food. You can survive a few days without water, but you cannot survive more than 5 minutes without oxygen, without breathing. I'm not saying here that oxygen is prana. I'm saying that prana comes into your body along with oxygen. Prana is ethereal. You cannot touch it, you cannot see it, but you can definitely feel it, because that's what feeds the body you live in. So now that we know what is prana and what is pranayama and what's the goal of it, let's start introducing a little bit of breathing awareness into your body, because that's the first step. You cannot master the expansion of breath control. You cannot master the expansion of your breath capacity while first developing breathing awareness. So let's do that. For this practice, you can find yourself in a comfortable seated posture, keeping your spine straight. If for some reason, due to an illness or just not feeling well today, you need to be lying down, that's okay. Just try to keep your spine as stretched, as straight as possible. So find yourself in a comfortable posture first. Close your eyes. And to begin, we're only going to take a long inhale through the nose and let it out through the mouth. A couple more times we're going to do this, and now we're going to add on the rolling of the shoulders. So inhale, roll them up and back. Sigh it out and drop the shoulders down. And once again, inhale, up, back, exhale, release. Beautiful. Try to find stillness in your body now, keeping the eyes closed. And from now on, we're only going to breathe with the nose. Our breath is not only our source of, our primal source of energy, it is also our anchor. It's what keeps us anchored right here, right now, in the present moment. So allow yourself to take a moment here to really connect with the sensation of your breath. Allow yourself to feel pleasure for breathing right now, for having this opportunity of letting into your body an endless source of energy and vitality. And now we slowly are going to try to elongate the breath a little bit more. So that doesn't mean forcing the breath in. So you don't need to take a very intense breath in. Try to do this as smoothly and slowly as you can, just allowing more air to come into your body so that you can take into all your capacity. And then gently, slowly, allow the air to come out. Emptying your body out of air. Gently letting it come back. And out. Now try to notice how there are subtle movements happening in your body as your air comes in and as it leaves your body. So many gentle, subtle movements happening at the same time, just to allow your body to be nurtured, to be energized. Notice what you feel. And now you can bring your right hand onto your belly and your left hand onto your heart center. Still with the eyes closed. And just notice how when you inhale, your belly rises. And then the chest. And as you exhale, the chest lowers down and then the belly. It might be a little bit difficult in the beginning because we are all so used to breathing only with our chest all the time. That means that we're not actually allowing our lungs to take in its full capacity. We're only giving it just about enough resource to keep things functioning, but not enough to help our body reach its full potential. So when we allow ourselves to bring the awareness down to the belly and feel that breathing with the belly, we're practicing a little bit of belly breathing here. And what happens when we practice belly breathing is we're allowing the diaphragm, which is our breathing muscle, and that is attached to our lowest rib. We're allowing it to come down. That's what happens. So when we take a deep inhale, this muscle comes down into our belly, which means it's pushing the organs away, which is why the belly rises. And with that, it allows the lungs to actually have more space. You'll notice that you create a space in your whole upper body here so the lungs can inflate. And then with the exhale, the lungs empty it out and the diaphragm comes back up, and then the organs come back in. So much happening so subtly. So try to reconnect with that sensation of pleasure, of complete love and gratitude for the very air that you breathe, while you're noticing your belly rising up, then the chest, and then down and down again. Keep going. And you notice that the ribs as well expand a lot with the inhale and contract with the exhale. Just to give yourself a little bit more physical awareness, breathing awareness, you can bring your hands across the lower rib. And you notice that as you inhale, the ribs take up space, they expand, they open up so that your hands kind of grow away from each other. And as you exhale, it contracts and the hands come closer to each other. That's something natural that's happening every time you breathe, but that it can reach new levels, it can reach new potential and create greater space for your lungs to function and for your whole body to function at its full potential. If you want to relax your hands, you can. Just keep your eyes closed. And now we're going to add a little bit of counting into your breath, into your breathing. Just to create a little bit more breathing awareness. If you want, you can make a mudra with your hands of your choice, any mudra. Keep the eyes closed. And what we're going to do now is, with the inhale, we're going to first inhale with the belly, then ribs, then chest. Exhale, chest, ribs, and belly. Inhale, belly, ribs, chest. Exhale, chest, ribs, and belly. Beautiful. Keep going. We're going to inhale for 1, belly, 2, ribs, 3, chest. Exhale, 1, chest, 2, ribs, 3, belly. And again, 1, belly, 2, ribs, 3, chest. Exhale, 3, chest, 2, ribs, 1, belly. Inhale, 1, 2, 3. Exhale, 3, 2, 1. Inhale, 1, 2, 3. Exhale, 3, 2, 1. Keep going. 1, 2, 3. Exhale, 3, 2, 1. Inhale, 1, 2, 3. Exhale, 3, 2, 1. And I'll keep going on your own. And you will start noticing that the longer your breath becomes, the calmer you will feel physically and mentally. What it is that when we have a slower breath rate, we are sending signals to our brain that everything is fine, that it doesn't have to stress because we're not in a situation of stress. Automatically, the brain sends signals to the body that everything's fine, and you will feel further relaxation in the body. Because when we are in stressful situations, you will also notice that your breath changes. So if you're crying, you can barely breathe. Or if you're angry, your breath is short. You're just completely immersed in that feeling, in that emotion, and that affects your breathing. And as soon as it affects the breathing, and it's short and it's chaotic, it will send signals to the mind, to the brain, that it's in a stressful situation. What the brain does, it activates the fight or fight response. And when the fight or flight response is activated, because you're in a situation of stress, you need to survive, you need to either fight or flight. So your brain activates the systems that need activating in order for you to survive, and deactivates other systems. And when it does this, it also releases a jab of cortisol into your body, because cortisol gives you extra energy in case you need to literally run for your life. But cortisol is a stress hormone, and in these days, stressful situations, you're not going to need to really run for your life. You're probably just in a stressful situation with your family or your boss. So you're not going to fight with them either, probably. What happens is that new stress, that new load of stress hormones, of cortisol, has nowhere to go. And your body stores it, absorbs it. Automatically, your body becomes very tense. You will start feeling perhaps aches in specific areas of your body, like the lower back, the neck, the shoulders. Your breath will be shorter, and it will just create this endless cycle of stress and aches and tiredness and low energy. When we start practicing pranayama, when we start practicing breath control, breath expansion, we break this cycle, we break this negative cycle of stress. We signal to the body that it is fine and that it can activate the second response, which is rest and recovery. With that, our body can relax, and the emotions will suddenly calm down as well. So what the yogis found out is that if the emotions have the power of affecting our breath, just like when you're crying, you can barely breathe. When you're angry, your breath is short. They realized that we can break that, and we can reverse the cycle, because we can change the breath first, and by doing that, we can change the emotions. And voila, you can hijack your own brain so that negative emotions do not have as much power over you anymore, so that anxiety and stress are not in control of you, and that you are no longer at their mercy. So what yogis found out was that, first of all, wait a minute. If our emotions have the power of changing our breath, which they do, because if you're crying, your breath is different. If you're angry, your breath is shorter, more chaotic. If you're calm, your breath is long, relaxed, right? So if the emotions have the power of changing the breath, that means that we have the power of changing our emotions by changing the breath first. And that's where pranayama comes in. It allows us to not only control the breath, it allows us to slowly build enough breathing awareness and body and emotional awareness to the point that we can first change the emotions, we can first change the breath, and then we're going to be able to change the emotions. So we're going to now no longer be at the mercy of our emotions. We're going to be able to control how we feel and how we react to the world, so that we can finally start responding to what happens to us instead of reacting. So I hope you have enjoyed. Today has been a very introductory class, and just so you can have that foundation, that context and understanding of what is pranayama, what are the benefits, and what's it for, really. And from here, we're going to start building all the building blocks so that you can increase not only your breathing awareness, but also your vitality and your relaxation, that inner calm, that inner stillness that you can find within in any situation of stress from now on. Thank you so much for being here with me. I hope you have enjoyed this class. If you have any questions or if there's anything you'd like to tell me, don't forget to leave a comment and subscribe. Thank you so much. Namaste. Up-level your yoga practice with the Rise and Shine Yoga Journey, the foundation you need for real progress that will allow you to grow long-lasting benefits on and off the mat.